Are you looking for a collaborative way to grow your email list? Or perhaps you're not keen on short form video or don't have the dollars yet to pay for ads to grow your list, but you love working with other people. If this sounds like you, then online marketing mentor Kate Doster may just have the answer, and that is bundles. By gathering various online creators together to offer valuable resources at a discounted rate or for free, bundles help consumers gain access to high quality content and enable creators to reach a wider audience. Win win. As a contributor to a number of bundles myself, I love serving new people, but also getting to know others. Join me in this fast paced, jam packed episode where Kate shares whether hosting free bundles still works in 2025, the biggest mistakes people make when hosting a bundle, and how to make sure that your audience doesn't get upset with all the new emails that they're getting. Welcome to the Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So, if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. I acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country that I am recording from today. I recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nation people listening today. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 169 of the Powerful Content Podcast. I really appreciate you joining me here today, and I also appreciate today's guest for being here with me. I have with me Kate Doster, online marketing mentor. Welcome to the podcast, Kate.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have this chat with you, Kate, because we're talking about something that I've actually only become really aware of myself within the last year or so, and that is bundles. I've had so much fun contributing to bundles and learning about the best way to show up and serve within a bundle. And your bundle, Kate's bundle Back to Business, was one of the first ones that I joined and contributed to back in February last year. So thank you so much for showing me the ropes.
Well, thank you so much for being one of our wonderful contributors.
So, Kate, I'd love to know firstly, what is it about bundles that you love so much and makes you want to teach others about them?
So, for all of you millennials, I don't know if you remember the movie with Heath Ledger called A Knight's Tale. I'm talking like, I think it was like 2000s when it came out. And there's a line in it that the dad of the night guy is like, "Oh, did my son change his stars?" And I really always love that term about changing your stars because hosting bundles has changed not only my stars and the trajectory of my business, but it's also changed the whole stars of my contributors, especially the ones in the early ones, and also the people who register for the bundle. So essentially what a bundle is, we can teach them free, paid, low cost, doesn't necessarily matter. But basically you're going to get together with some of your online buddies or some people you've maybe admired from the far. And for a very limited time, you guys are all going to give amazing items, either completely for free if somebody signs up for the bundle, or like I said, for a very low cost. And the reason why this works out so well is because your list and your followers get amazing stuff that they wouldn't be able to get their hands on. And then they have knowledge, they can implement it, they can see amazing results. Everyone's happy, they find a new favorite creator. You're excited because now all of your contributors have now become, from strangers, now they're associates. And because you're giving them so many more subscribers than they would normally get, say from something like social media. And I think that's why I like social. I have a lot of fun there. I use it as a creative outlet, but it's not really moving the needle in my business because the algorithm is purposely trying to keep people away from me in the inbox as well. They want people on their platform because that's how they make their money. So you're playing tug of war with no one against a juggernaut. But when you're hosting a bundle, now all of a sudden for that week, for those 5 days, you've got teammates and y'all are pulling and pulling and pulling. So now all the spotlight it's finally on you guys, and everyone's excited to see everyone win. And that is why I'm so unbelievably passionate about bundles, because they can make your business if you're the host. They can really build momentum for your contributors, which then they associate that great feeling with you. And then guess what? They want to promote you more to your audience. And now you got built-in affiliates. Now you got more people to talk to. And the people that registered, they just get spoiled with amazing stuff. And that is why I love bundles, because literally it's a triple win scenario.
I can hear the excitement and passion in your voice, Kate. These bundles. And they truly are, like you said, can really change the trajectory of your business. Like I contributed to your bundle and one other bundle at the beginning of 2024. And I would have to say that I actually doubled my email list in those two bundles, which is quite phenomenal. So a bundle is something that a course creator or anyone really can actually contribute to, free or paid. And then there is a host, so someone who actually brings all these amazing creators together. And then there is the people who sign up for the bundle as well. So they join everyone's email list or whoever they actually sign up to. So it's just so amazing that something so simple and so easy can actually grow your email list so phenomenally. And I talk about building an aligned audience, not necessarily everyone. And I have found personally that with bundles, I have been able to do that. Like I was a little bit wary, to tell you the truth. I was worried that, I would just get people who wanted free things on my list and weren't really interested, but it really gave me an opportunity to continue to nurture them. But how can you actually ensure that your bundle that you create as a host attracts the right contributors and attracts the right audience as well? Because I'm guessing there would be a really wide range in submissions of the free resources that are available in the bundle and a wide range of the quality of audience. So how can you really ensure that your bundle attracts the right people?
I love that question. So, the way that you do that, especially when you are a bundle host, I always like to think of my ideal person first. So, like, what level of business or what level of gardening or what level of homesteading, what level of crafting are they particularly at? And then I will think to myself, where are my gaps as somebody that can help them? Meaning, like, I'm not going to talk to you about Instagram. I'm not going to talk to you about Facebook ads. I'm not going to talk to you about summits. I'm not going to talk to you about WordPress websites. There are so many different moving pieces of running an online business. That's sort of the blanket thing that I'm into, right? Because I help everyone passive income and email marketing. There's so many other missing pieces. Like, I can't make you graphics. I'm the worst at it. Even with Canva, I still mess up the pre-made templates I get. I'm just like, no, you can't. The girl cannot design to save her life, right? So I'm making sure before I set out to actually ask contributors that first, I'm actually thinking of topics that my person is going to be interested in, and also ones that aren't going to conflict with what I want to ultimately teach or truly, truly be known for. Because that's where, as the bundle host, you have a lot of power. When you're somebody that contributes to a bundle, you might be one person of 17 that is talking about how to start a blog or sales pages or copywriting. And if it's any of the hosts that go through my course, I always tell them, try to limit the number of expertise you have in one topic to one, maybe two max. So that way, that person gets a lot of email subscribers, and the outside world isn't like, this bundle, whether it's paid or free, isn't garbage because it's just 5 how to start a blogs.
Hmm.
Nobody wants access to 5 how to start a blogs. They want things that have that. So when you're sitting down and you're mapping out about your person, and honestly, y'all, especially business to consumers and non-business to business, like you can have so much fun in there, and they are just so underutilized. So like you can think like, okay, I like to attract moms that love to garden. It's like, what? They're like moms into like, I'm never gonna help with, well, she's gardening, she might be into crafting, maybe she's into homesteading, she probably wants chickens, but like I don't know anything about livestock. So then once you're thinking about this person and this lifestyle, then it's like, okay. And that's when you create the name for the bundle. You make sure it has a nice variety. You make sure no one's stepping on anyone's toes too much. So then when you go out and either you pitch people, you can have people apply for your bundle, you can have friends of friends, you kind of have these categories set into your head. And then ultimately, as the host, you can agree to have somebody come in, but you always can have a clause, because I'm all about bundle contracts to keep everybody safe. That's just like, if it doesn't meet our standard, we're going to ask you to submit something different. I like to say it's a little bit nicer than we're going to kick you out. But like we make sure that everyone who's applying and everyone that we're pitching, they know our standards.
Mm.
And the way that we present it to them, and I do think it matters, like, look, you're trusting us with your audience. I don't want to subject your audience to garbage because then they're going to associate you with garbage. They're going to complain to you that they got this cheesy one-page PDF when they thought they were getting the moon and the sun and everything else. So they're like, oh, she's going to take really good care of my audience. I don't have to fight for eyeballs. And that is how, again, everybody wins. You go with a variety. You make sure you have quality standards. You do actually sort of look at those things, make sure that they meet it. Because some people will try to sneak it in. We've had to kick people out before. Or been like, oh, can you like add something to this? Because we'll always go with, look, we like you, obviously. We like doing your pitch or we like doing when we pitched you. But no one's going to sign up for your checklist of, free apps to use to build your WordPress website when they're getting an entire course on how to close sales as a coach. So you're just wasting your time too. And then it's like, oh, when you present it that way, people are into it.
Yeah, awesome. Great tips there. So some of the things as a host then is to look for missing gaps in what you actually provide for your niche. Look at the diversity of topics as well. So that there's not just a whole heap of people talking about the same topic. Think about inviting people or having courses or resources that don't conflict with what you want to teach, which I think is really important as well as the host.
Key.
It's super important, and look for quality contributors as well. Now, I know I can see how much work goes into a bundle case. There is just, it's just phenomenal. The best run bundles are those that have this amazing system in place. So what is it about bundles that, a host can actually make sure that everything runs really smoothly?
Again, great questions. So when it comes to running smoothly, the biggest hurdle that you're going to come across with bundles is tech. That is like the biggest thing, little tech gremlins. So we make sure, again, to avoid an inbox and have a great experience for our contributors.
Yeah.
That anytime, like when somebody says yes, they're not like sending us their logins or their passwords or their pictures or anything through our email. They are going through Airtable. They're going to see that Airtable document a million times. And what's nice about the host and the tools that we talk about, I do have a little like toolkit for you guys. I'm going to spill the beans. At the end, you guys can get for free a little toolbox. But the system that we use for being able to put your bundle together on the back end where people go and like register and pick out the stuff that they want. So you don't have to worry. Your subscribers aren't automatically going to get subscribed to like 20 people's newsletters. They have to pick and choose the stuff that they want.
Yeah.
But it hooks up to a CSV file that Airtable creates. So it's just so easy to update it. And it makes your life so much easier. I would say the biggest thing to be able to avoid tech issues is to have backups for yourself. There's always going to be contributors that their links aren't working or their coupon codes aren't working, which is why when you set up your standards, you want everyone's stuff done, dust settled, no later than a month out. Honestly, I would like it for 6 weeks. And guess what? If it doesn't work 6 weeks out, then you are going to tell them you can't be in it. And then mysteriously, they seem to get their act together. So it's a lot of link clicking, making sure that when you go through their checkout process, because especially with both versions of a bundle, when someone goes to claim an item, I don't want anyone putting in any type of credit card information. So usually the biggest hurdle that you'll run into is somebody will be using an upsell on Thrivecart, not the order bump, that's fine, but like the upsell. And sometimes it'll force people to like put in a credit card or click PayPal. So you got to make sure that that's shut off. So that's usually the biggest hurdle that you'll run into when it comes to like, I call it herding the cats. So making sure that when you are sharing links, I would say to your registration page, and I would say we call it like the claim page area, or I call it the freebie mall sometimes if it's a free bundle, because that's kind of fun. If you can have alternative ways for people to be able to claim their stuff, the better. Now, I'm not saying that you go to your contributors like, oh, give me like 2 links or a backup code in case it doesn't work. No, what you're just doing is like, okay, I'm going to put this inside of Thrive Learn. I know sometimes Thrive Learn likes to randomly die. So I'm going to create a secret backup page on my website that if I need to redirect because Thrivecart and Thrive Learn is down for some strange reason, it's there, right? I'm going to create, it can even just be a very simplified version of the registration page if I need to be able to switch. And that's why as a host, anything for public facing, always do that pretty link or a short link or a bit.ly link. So that way, if you need to change it on the fly or things aren't working, you can do it. We had actually, the back to business bundle, we got a bajillion tech issues. So that might be an insider hint. Don't do stuff in February because that tends to be when new federal regulations come out, which then screw up all of the apps. Luckily for us, even though I literally had 3 backups, during the actual bundle, everything absolutely fine. But like it was ridiculous. But just making sure that you have a backup so that way you're not trying to say build the plane as it's on fire. And again, your biggest thing is letting people register, even if they just get the backup non-fancy page, where it's just like a mock-up of stuff. It's just like, get these cool things, put in your email address, and then on your back end, so that way they'll be able to claim things. Those are really just the 2 things that you have to work with. And we always make sure too, for our contributors, that we'll give them like little like swipe files and we'll tell them like, if somebody is having an issue, like let us know immediately, or here's how we can handle it. What we also did, and this is another insider tip, but I love Mel, so you guys got to know, is the claim area, we have a button for people to just contact the contributor. We'll have a little thing that says, if you have issues with stuff, like let us know. But literally, it would be like Mel's super awesome thing, her button that usually has her coupon code already attached to whatever amazing item she's given. And we have a button right underneath it that's like, having issues? Email Mel. And it's like, okay. So that way they know exactly who to contact. So it's not like they're like, say that it's me and Mel and like my friend Naima, right? Naima's people aren't emailing Naima being like, Mel's stuff doesn't work. What do I do? So then Naima has to email me. And then I have to email Mel. It's like, there's like literally a button right there that's going to tell you to hit that. And it goes right to the customer support email that we get again through Airtable. So that's how you do it. Just
Love those tips. So many great ideas there as a host to make it not easier just for your contributors, but make it easier for yourself as well, because this is the big thing. Running hosting a bundle can be a really huge thing. But I love your ideas about having a system in place. So whether that is Airtable somewhere, a database that people can put everything into and everything's there, and it's really, really easy for you. And just to be aware that there will be tech gremlins, because, oh my goodness, there always is. Do the process yourself. I really like that one as well. So go through that process of claiming something so you know what the experience is going to be for the end consumer, and make sure that you have the backups. And what I really appreciate from you and your bundles and from other bundle hosts as well, Kate, is the communication. I think that is such a key thing, and it makes me as a contributor feel loved and want to go and promote the bundle everywhere. It makes me want to participate. It makes me, really want to make the most of the opportunity of being in that bundle. So I think communication is an absolute key. So with all of those things in mind, Kate, what are some of the mistakes that you think people make when they're hosting a bundle?
The first one we actually addressed with one of your very first questions, and that's not thinking of the variety of items that you have going on. The second one, kind of when it comes to that, is thinking that bigger is better. It's not. It isn't. So there's this JAM study that is really famous where if people have too many options, their option they'll pick is none. So you might actually think, oh, we're going to get way more email signups, so we're going to get way more sales, maybe for a paid bundle, like if it's really high priced. But definitely if it's like a lower cost bundle, people just get so overwhelmed that they like don't know what to do. And I don't know what to sign up for. And then again, now your contributors are competing with 8 other people that teach the same exact thing they teach. And so it's like, it doesn't mean anything. But the biggest mistake that a bundle host in particular can make is 2, but it's kind of the same mistake. And that is not having an after plan and not spending actual time with the items that you're going to put in your bundle. What's cool about being the host is technically you can put as many as you want. I always tell my host, put in 2 items, right? Because maybe you want to be known for email marketing and Trello if you're Kate, because you got ADHD and you can write emails really well, right? So yeah, I always tell them like put yourself at the top of the page, but like I don't like it where like people can't get to all the other contributors unless they go through your page first. I think that's gross. But at the top of the claim page, you should be number 1, because guess what? People are always going to click the first thing. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're not just shoving something in there last minute because you've been setting up the tech, because you've been going back and forth, because you've been creating the swipe files, because you have been, if you're a great host, you're following Mel right on her social media. So you're dedicating 10, 15 minutes every single day to be able to interact with your contributors. That's another reason why bigger isn't better. You want, even if you have a promotion clause, which some do, some don't, you want your contributors to feel like this is our bundle. And you do that by actually building relationships with them. And that was one of the biggest things for the Back to Business bundle. We had our biggest one ever. And I looked over at Abby and we said the same thing. I'm like, I feel like we're not friends with any of these new people that we have in here because we had over like 125 people. And I just couldn't balance all those. My introverted self, Kate self, could not handle all those balls. And I hated it. So you want to make sure, again, that you can have that community feel and that when you yourself are picking out your items, that it's ones that you want to be known for, that you have a follow-up sequence in place for those items that can ultimately lead to other things you have. What's so amazing about being in bundles and hosting in bundles is that there are two things right now that are truly starving the world of sales. And I know everyone's like, oh, it's inflation. Oh, it's people don't know what's going on and they're scared. It is attention and more importantly, trust. And you know how Mel was just saying at the beginning of this interview how she didn't realize with her doubling her email list, all those people that then she could nurture and then make sales off of. The reason why being in a bundle, especially hosting the bundle, because you get the most name recognition, is so powerful. They know Mel's paid stuff, even if they got it for free, is fan-freaking-tastic. So guess what? When Mel's got a new course, when Mel says, here's your next step, here's my bigger thing, they got their socks knocked off. They didn't have to pay $1 to build that trust and to go through it, but they did. And now they're like, Mel's the best. Mel's the only one I'm coming to. She's the only one I'm coming to now for my content planning. Nobody else. Sorry, Mel. Mel's thing was amazing. So they're going to be like, what else does Mel have? And they are not going to forget it. So always have that backup plan. Always know what you're going to do with the massive list that you have afterwards if you're hosting the bundle, because the bundle is like a ramp. It truly is. It's going to give you a lot of momentum. So now you've got things to launch to. Now you've got different funnels that you can do and all of this other stuff. You can build that momentum. You can create all these new fans. You can then have those new fans go out and get your new fans, but you need to have an after plan. That's the biggest thing, is throwing in anything because you're tired and then not having an after plan for people that signed up for your item and people that didn't.
So much gold there, Kate. Oh my goodness. I'm going to pull out a couple of things. The attention and the trust piece. I think that is so important as well. And bundles really do give you that opportunity to be able to build the trust and really focus attention on you, your ideal client, and what you have to actually sell as well. So just going back to the mistakes you were talking about, not thinking about the variety within your bundle as a host, the thing that bigger isn't always better, and not having that after plan. Now, can we just talk about the after plan, Kate, a little bit further? Because I feel like that some people may feel a resistance to hosting a bundle or even being a contributor in a bundle because they're worried that their audience is just going to be inundated with emails. So what would you just say to someone who's feeling like that, who's feeling a little bit of resistance because they think that, oh, I don't want to, send too many emails?
It is just your job to be their favorite. That's about it. It is your job to be their favorite. They're an adult. They can hit the unsubscribe button. I know, right? If you are contributing to a bundle, what I think, and you'd be shocked at like how much people remember things and like how much like hosts will like secretly promote you, even say if you're not one of the sponsors of VIPs. But like if you're in a bundle and you just ask the bundle host, like, do you plan on launching anything right after this? Because I don't want my launch to conflict with yours. Like it is going to go so above and beyond. They might even ask you to be an affiliate. Be like, oh my goodness, Mel, like, thank you for being so considerate. Yeah, about 2 weeks after the bundle, we're going to do this big old, birthday event that we have going on. So if you, can't launch that week and maybe you can wait the week after, that'd be awesome. We can give you a link to be an affiliate for that too, if you want. Like, see how you can, again, this is why I love bundles, because you can build relationships. And I'd rather give people money than Zuckerberg money. I mean, I know he's technically a person, but like, how can avoid it? I'm going to try, right? I'm like, I've seen stuff smoking around. He could be AI at this point. Who knows? But like, I like Mel better. I know, right? Y'all like Mel better too. I do the shocked face. We like Mel better than Zuck, so I'd rather give it to her. So I think that it is your job as either the contributor or the host just to be like, I'm just going to be their favorite. And I, as a host, I had yet to see anyone else do this. I think maybe like 1 or 2 business bundles, because they've been my students, that literally will have like a how to get the most out of this bundle. And it will tell people how to manage their inbox, because they're going to be meeting so many new people. So it's like, oh, you can set up tags, you can decide what you want to work on now. I'm sure people take you back, all of those sorts of things. So as long as you're just honest with people, and same thing, like when people sign up for the bundle to get to the registration page where they get all the items, like I let them know, we're not going to share your email address with anyone, but if you take all 20 items, you're going to get emails from 20 new people. So make sure you can set up a filter. You can have your newsletter filter so you can want it here. Maybe you can think of the top goals that you have because you still want to hang out with these new people, but maybe you just don't want to see their emails as much. Give them little hints and tips and tricks to be able to. And for you as a contributor, you can always, if you do sort of a special buyer series for the people that go through the products that they got for free as opposed to if they purchased it, you can even be like, I know you're getting a lot of emails right now. I know that you are. So, and then again, you can do things so that way, even though they're getting a lot of emails, they see your name and they open because they like you the best.
Oh, so many nuggets of gold there, Kate. But I love the quote, and this is going to be the quote of the episode. I think is your job is to be their favorite, and this
And they need to be adults.
exactly. You've got to remember that you are emailing, yeah, adults, and they have the right to choose, and they can unsubscribe if they want to. But you are here to serve because you've got amazing things to offer your beautiful audience. So yeah, so it's your job to be the favorite. I love that. And I also love that super hot tip. My goodness me, thank you for sharing this. How you can, as a host, do a how to get the most out of this bundle. I don't know. Is it like something that's actually on your website and gives them some ideas and tips on how to manage all of the emails that they're going to get or all of the resources that they can actually collect?
So what we'll do is because again, I got Thrive Cart, so I've got Thrive Learn. So we just put all of our stuff in there, whether it's a free or paid bundle. Because why not? I got it. It's secure. It looks cool. And that's where all of my paid products are, so they can see them when they log in. Right? Go click over here, everyone. See what happens. But I just do a video real quick, and I will tell everyone again, you're going to be getting a lot of emails. Sometimes for our bundle, we'll have what we call little bundle boosters. So maybe they'll actually get an Airtable database or a Notion database where they'll be able to put their logins, not their passwords, because those aren't secure. They'll be able to map out who's that they want to go to and how that they want to handle it as well. But I think just really educating your people, you just wanted to throw in like a quick checklist because that's what we do. It's like, actually set your goals. You don't need to go hog crazy. Make sure you're logging into your passwords. Put your login emails someplace really important and schedule time to actually implement the things that you're learning.
Great. Fantastic. Love that. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions now about bundles themselves and why you think they work and why you think that they work still in 2025.
I think that they still work in 2025. Again, they might have lost their, say, novelty and the B to business space. But like I said, business to consumers, absolutely not. My friend Faith and I literally started a whole new business just hosting consumer-based bundles because they are just ridiculous. People love them. Absolutely love them. I think in the business realm, what you're going to need to get away from are very just generic ones. And you're going to, again, this goes back to the very beginning, you're going to need to be more curated about the topics that you have and the people that you let in there. I think that that is what's truly the most important when it comes to bundles because people are being like, oh, getting $7,000 and stuff for free. People might be like, oh, I have too much or I have too many things. Or again, you make your bundle set out. If the biggest issue with the bundle is people get all this stuff and they don't use it, it's your job as a host. What are you going to do to make sure people use this?
And what are some tips that you can give us in that space? Like, how can we help people to actually use the bundle that we host?
So we'll have like those implementation things like we talked about, again, like the Airtable. We'll talk to them about actually setting their priorities and creating a 90-day plan around the items that they have decided to download. You can host things like co-working sessions. You can have Q&As. You can have your sponsors host them as well, right? You can do this whether if you want to like tack on like say an extra $7, that's what we did, right? If you want to tack on an extra $7, you could do this. But there's a lot of things when you're like, okay, we're going to sit down and get it done. Is everyone going to show up on Zoom to do the co-working session? Absolutely not. But they now know, oh, they know I can be a course junkie or a template junkie and I won't actually implement something, but they're making sure that I can actually get results from this.
Yeah, love that. Love that so much. Now, there sounds like there's so many moving parts to hosting a bundle case, but thankfully we have you to be able to help us implement that. So I know that you've got a free resource for everyone. Do you want to just share about that quickly?
Mhm. So again, one of the things that I like about the bundles is that chances are you probably already use all the tech that you already have. Unlike summits where you have to learn how to like video edit and post and do the transcriptions, like all these things. Again, like summits are great. They're just a crap ton more work. So I put together the bundle toolkit. It's actually technically a toolbox. You can go to katedoster.com/bundle hyphen toolbox. And that is all of the texts and tools and apps that you are going to need to run your bundle. And I have it if you want to keep it like super basic. You don't want to spend absolutely any money because guess what? We had talked about Airtable. Use a free version of Airtable because it is fantastic. It's going to be your favorite tool absolutely ever. But technically, if you have an email service provider, I'm guessing you have a website because now you can't send emails without your own unique URL. And you've got Airtable. Technically, you can get down a free bundle if you want to. But of course, we talk about if you want to jazz things up, if you want to have your experience be a little bit better, both for your contributors, both for the people that are going to be registering it for it. We've got some other tools and suggestions just to get you started. So you can't be like, I'm not techie, I'm bad at this. If you can cut and paste, you can do this. If you can type in your own email address because you're going to have to sign up for everyone's stuff, you can do this. Mel's literally laughing right now. The fact I said, literally, if you can cut and paste, I know y'all know how to do control command. You can do it. You can do it. You can host a bundle.
I love it. You've got me so excited, Kate, actually, about bundles. As a contributor, I've loved my experiences, both in your bundles and other hosts as well. And I can really start to see how the different pieces can come together and make the experience really different for both the contributors and the people who sign up for them as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. Make sure that you head on down to the show notes and grab that free resource because I know that you're going to want it and need it if you're going to start hosting a bundle. Okay, I'd love to round out all of our episodes with an opportunity for reflection for my listeners. So have you got a few questions that my listeners could explore to help them consider whether hosting a bundle might actually be right for them?
Are you not willing to put down money for ads? And do you hate getting on camera? The reason why I say both of those things, and I was literally just creating a free training about how to really grow your list in 2025. And truly, your options now, ads, short form video, because that's the only thing anyone's pushing anywhere, or a collaborative event like a bundle. That's it. So if you're more of a writer, if you're more of an introvert, if you're like, I know this sounds so odd to be like, my house is ugly, so I'm going to host a bundle. But if you're like doing all of those things, like I can't, or I don't want to, or I don't feel comfortable with those sorts of things. But you know what? Like I can throw together a web page. I can cut and paste. That's something that I would think about. If you don't want to deal with people, then don't host a bundle. Just don't. Don't do a collaborative event. Again, there's nothing wrong with all those other modes of modality, but it's like if you don't want to wrangle cats, because you're going to have to wrangle cats. People are going to miss deadlines. There might be some people that you extend it to and other people that you don't. But if you're like, I despise getting back to people in the inbox. I love being on camera by myself, and I don't care if Zuck takes my money. Then don't do a bundle. Do those other things.
I love a question to ask yourself. If you don't like ads, you don't like videos, but you like collaboration, then bundles will be for you. Kate, what are you excited for in the next few months?
Oh my goodness. So I have just decided for this year, and I know that a lot of people are having like kind of funky 2024 if they're having funky 2025s. But my word of the year was fun, and it actually got changed to magical. So I am just so excited to just show up and allow the magic. I was dealing with a lot of tech issues, ironically, so I was kind of in a hidey hole for a while. So I'm just so excited to be out there again, to be creating more content again, like Mel helps everyone with, to be able to get in front of my audience, to really like step up and be a leader in 2025, because I feel like people need it more than ever, especially when you're in the B2B space now. You're going to see a lot of businesses and modalities are failing, but not all of them. So it's your job to be that beacon of light, especially again, even business to consumers, right? If people are worried about the prices of eggs, why are they going to buy my craft? But if you keep inspiring them, you keep telling them how to show up their message, you keep making sure that you're dealing with their mindset stuff, because I deal with a lot of mindset stuff, it can be truly magical because there's proof out there that other people are succeeding. So why not you? Why not?
Beautiful, beautiful words to end the episode on. So thank you so much for your generosity today, Kate, and sharing your wisdom and magic with us today. It's been an absolute joy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much. And guys, when you do go down to the show notes to grab the toolkit, I need you to scroll a little bit further down and I need you to hit those 5 stars for Mel, wherever you're listening. Extra bonus points if you leave a written review because this podcast is awesome. And I know Mel would never ask for it directly because that's just the way that she is. But if you've literally listened this far, you want to write that review. Even if it's just like, hey, my word of the year is this. Mel and I would love to know. We to know your words of the year. So comment that along with how great the show is.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Pop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.